Hello everybody. So we're going to take a quick look at some JavaScript right here and some particular at variables and what they are. Just showing you my screen setup so that there's no confusion. So I have my Sublime right here. I have my development tools that are open right here, which is set to console. So it will show me any JavaScript I'm running. And also it shows the right down here, I just put it down here so that I can quickly hit this reload button because we're not going to have anything on our actual HTML page. So if I hit this button, this developer tools here will change. So that's the reason that I have it set up like here. So as you can see, I have my var HTML set up and I linked in my JavaScript right here. So I have this file already being able to read from this file. As you can see, nothing in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just shut this, because JavaScript will still run without being called from here as long as it's hooked in right there. And I don't care what level you are or what type of programmer you are, you always start with a hello world. It's just the rules of programming. So a simple console log will suffice this rule. Save it, and now we're going to reload it, and now you can see right there, hello world. So we've started. Oop, forgot my semicolon. Semicolons aren't exactly needed. They're stylistic for ends of things, but they're generally it's very good coding practice to always put your semicolons in. So we've got our hello world. Now, what is a variable? Well, there's a technical answer and there's a very simple answer. The technical answer can actually take quite some time to explain. So the technical answer is that your computer has memory, right? Or more particularly, your computer and Chrome have memory. And when you want to set a variable aside, you're basically telling to the compiler or your computer or whatever you're running this program from, set aside some memory for this variable that I name. That's what you're doing. The more simplistic approach, until you don't want to learn all that about that stuff, which is understandable because there's a lot there, it's just a way to make a declaration equal another one. So here, the keyword that we're going to use is var. This is JavaScript right here, var. We set our name of our variable. It can be anything you want, particularly something that's spelled right. And now what we do is we simply use an equal sign and whatever we want it to equal to. So let's make this variable equal to 15. Now you notice that my text editor changed color here. That means that this reads as an integer. Actually, it could be also a float, but it reads as a number. You can see this dot right here. That means that the file has new changes in there. So you can actually see that, and watch when I hit Control Save. See? So a little tip to know that if you saved your file. Now, variables need to be all one word or at least connected by something. So variable 2, for example, see I have this connector here. This is my convention. I like the underscore better. I know that some people do this, and that's completely fine. I prefer the underscore, just saying. So this is one that's equal to an integer. You can also have variable, and we're just going to use some autocorrect here, so we'll do 3. Skipped 1 for some reason. Now you can have this equal to anything. You can have this equal to this. And there you go. Now notice that for this string, I put these brackets around. So when you ever want to do a string, you put brackets around the thing. So if I wanted a little easier string, let's do my name. So there's my name, and you can have all the space in the world that you want in here, so anything in between here works. You can also have something equal to, and I'm just going to shorten this now, I'm just going to do A. You can have actually set to what we call booleans, which are only true and false, so we can actually have it true. See how it changed color there? That means that this is a keyword, very important. You can't name a variable a keyword. It's very easy to tell when it's a keyword, so you'll see this. Notice that in is a keyword, so it's going to red, so obviously it's a no-no, so stay around or away from that. And if I console log these all out, which I can do, I'm going to use some Sublime magic here. That was Control-Shift-D if you're on a Windows machine or running Linux, which I am, which is why my screen probably looks different. So if I console log all these out and I'll reload it right here. So you noticed right here, this is what it's going to read. So obviously this is what it does. And now let's try to actually do something here. Let's do sum. Let's have that equal to. Now it's always good coding practice to have this equal, if you want this to be an integer, to have this equal to 0 first and then work with it. So we're going to have sum equals variable 2 plus variable 3. Let's see what happens. Of course we're not going to see anything because I didn't console log anything out. Notice that you concatenated the two. Other programming languages would not be very nice about this. They would say, error, you're adding two things that are not equal, an integer and a string. But JavaScript is very nice, doesn't swear at you at all, and just says, alright, so you just want 15, Justin, which is a very immature age for myself, so nobody wants that, so I'm going to get rid of that. So there you go, and that is just simple variables. That's what's happening here, is that you're just setting one thing equal to another to play with. So for example, just to follow up this whole conversation, let's do a variable, let's do equals, we'll just do another 15 right here. So this is really, you can do whatever you want here. The compiler will tell you whenever you have an error, of course. What am I doing? Okay, so I'm going to do 2. I don't need to declare it again because I already have. Is going to equal variable 2 plus C. And we're going to console log this out, see what we got. And now obviously for the math geniuses out there, you know we're going to get 30. See, right there, we got 30. So it's going to add them all in. So we're all good there, we're ready to go. And then we can actually concatenate strings too. So this is just you to play around. Notice that I have no space here and here. If I actually added these in here, you would see a problem. I really wish I didn't name these things so long, but luckily Sublime's nice. It's not necessarily a problem, once again, nope, that's a for loop. It's not necessarily a problem, but it's something you might want to consider if you run this. Notice that there's no space there, so if you wanted a space there, you would actually have to put a space here. And then what we're going to do is we'll reload this again, and notice that you have a space again. So this is really a playground. You can do whatever you want here. You can actually, you know, so this is just a time for you just to set variables, console log them out, and see what kind of magic you do to get used to what variables are in JavaScript. Next, we're going to go over something that's really cool called arrays.